DC Comics.
Help!
Not so fast, Barry Allen.
Not so fast character we're giving both names for, because then you'll know he's the future Flash and have a baby nerd chubby for a couple minutes. Also, this movie opened with Barry running for a solid 10 seconds, and yet he's only about 5 feet away from the broken down car.
There's a gas station.
The fuck? Also, it's completely abandoned. Also, it's probably something you passed just before you broke down. The fucking thing is like a half mile away. And why wasn't that the first place you thought to go for help, rather than trying to run down that car a minute ago?
Mom.
Apparently, every superhero was created from dead mom energy. Also, if anyone knows the DC universe, we all know who's responsible. Bucky Barnes. Barry contacted the police using grief telepathy and managed to stand in the same position for hours and blocking the entrance to the crime scene. Only black umbrellas allowed at the funeral cliché. This is one of the most awkwardly worded epitaphs ever. Go ahead. I'll give you time to read it. See?
If I just ran a little faster, I'd have been there.
Super manipulated semi-irony. Let's call it smirony. Also, somehow this guy is still racked with guilt about being unable to stop his mom's murder when he was a kid. But hey, whatever fuels your Flash, dude.
What was that saying your mother had? About accepting the things you can't change?
Yeah, that was good. Someone should really do something with that.
A break-in at the Flash Museum.
You have your own museum, and people are breaking into it for some reason? Isn't this like Bryce Harper having his own museum already? Who paid for this shit? I bet it was the taxpayers, as usual, who, by the way, are still paying for Gotham's Pro Football Stadium and Metropolis's downtown arena. Oh no, if there was only some sort of power I had that I could use to avoid these. Also, he survives this.
Well, Flash, once again, it looks like you're the bottom, and I'm the top.
Excuse me, what? Oh no, if there was only some sort of power I knew that my rival the Flash had before I did this, I could have avoided this comeuppance. Seriously, with all the speed the Flash possesses, how is this even a fight? How is he not able to just quickly disarm these assholes and finish this in 5 seconds? A super fast Flash trapped by a weaponized silly putty, somehow.
The adhesive will never completely liquefy, regardless of speed. I'm counting on that.
What a bunch of bullshit. Need I say more?
Then my life is a small price to pay.
I agree.
Batman Ex Machina for sure, but what took this asshole so long to show up? Also, was he just standing up there waiting to crash into the window, hoping someone would say something so he could come crashing through with a retort? Also, there is a clear front entrance, unlocked and completely wide open, due to all the shit going down. But this dick decides to smash even more glass to make a grand entrance. Do business owners have to buy Batman skylight insurance in this town? Why is Superman here? Can't Batman take care of this? And why did it take him so long to show up? Considering the caliber of villains who are here right now, this is overkill. Guys, I guess you decided that since the Flash Museum already got some damage, you could just destroy anything for no reason so you could make a dramatic appearance. Whoever owns this Flash Museum should bill you hundreds of thousands of dollars for being dickheads and dickhead tax.
I could try to vaporize the bombs.
Yes, but you'd be vaporizing the rogues as well.
Thank God Afterthought Wonder Woman was here to stop Captain Atom from doing that, because nobody else could have told him it was a bad idea.
Diana's right.
Yes, Diana's right. I, too, have a line.
Batman.
It's future tech. Difficult to disarm.
Oh, thanks for clarifying.
I'm not going to just leave you here.
Lantern, we're running out of time.
Hal. Go.
If only all the other Justice League assholes had shown up 5 minutes ago like Flash did, we might not even have this moral dilemma to face at all. Also, isn't Green Lantern powerful enough on his own single-handedly to do a bunch of magic to save the day here? That ring never looked less powerful than whenever he teams up with the Justice League. It's sad how little they give Canada Man to do in this movie.
I've got 1 million microbes eating the bomb's wiring.
Also, I understand why they split up to defuse the bombs, so that they could minimize the damage in case any of them blew up. But Aquaman's so confident that this is going to work, I don't understand why they didn't just throw them all into the water and let the microbes hurt locker the entire crew. I'm wondering, did this need to be in space? Everyone else is on Earth disarming the bombs. These assholes are in space. And why not just encase only Batman in the bubble and let the bomb guy implode? Batman is super needlessly risking his life right now to try and beat Jeff Bridges from blown away. In space! I love how Aquaman crushes the bomb, but Superman, way stronger than that, just covers it with his hands and waits, instead of, crushing it. Batman cuts the bomb off, but it somehow falls through the Green Lantern bubble.
You may have minimized the destruction, but the final bomb will still turn this monument to your ego into your own tomb.
Why hasn't it gone off yet? Why didn't this asshole think of doing this sooner? Did he even try anything else before this?
Looks like 25th century technology is pretty delicate.
That's centuryist. Keep in mind this is a cartoon, and yet the animators decided to write an article underneath this title about mapping the human brain, and it repeats itself later. Guys, I know you're getting paid with trips to Six Flags, but could you ramp it up just a smidge?
But the elongated kid murderer isn't gonna catch himself.
This nickname somehow caught on. This asshole is about to turn into the Flash in front of other people.
Barry, are you all right?
Mom?
Barry's mom, who is now alive for reasons we'll find out about later, just happens to be outside his work, so he can know this is a different timeline immediately. Also, how the f*** did he know that was his mom? I guess Thomas Wayne built the future of his alternate timeline by giving his 1955 self a sports almanac that allowed him to be right about every single sporting event until 2015. Let's be honest, you made this movie with an alternate timeline just so you could give Batman guns. Just admit it. If recent Batman animated movies are any indication, this just means Batman and Yo-Yo are going to start f***ing. Total bullshit ex machina.
Cyborg? I surrender to you.
Smart.
This movie hired Michael B. Jordan for the role of Cyborg and promptly gave him this kind of dialogue, and then distorted it all to hell.
You know why we're here, Batman. War.
I'm sorry I'm wasting your time with all this stuff you already know, Batman, but this movie is just a little over an hour and Warner Brothers is spending tons of money on some King Arthur movie coming out in 4 years.
Over 100 million people died when Atlantis sank Western Europe into the ocean. Another 32 million slaughtered when the Amazons invaded the United Kingdom. And
did the United Kingdom survive that flood from Atlantis? Or are they just not part of Western Europe? Also, USA! USA!
Can I help you, sir?
Sir, Doris, it's me.
This guy takes forever to realize how It's a Wonderful Life his current situation really is. Iris's husband and daughter show up out of nowhere at the perfect time to crush Barry's hopes. What's dumber, that Flash knows Bruce's secret Batcave entrance, or that Bruce or Alfred was so drunk one night they dropped a bottle of wine on these stone steps which then somehow managed to come to rest on a single step instead of shattering or at least bouncing off into the back-controlled portion of the cave? Good God, how much of an asshole is Barry? Nobody knows who you are, dude! You walk into the Batcave unannounced and you don't think that's gonna end in a beating?
Bruce died, and you lived. You're his father.
I'd give this movie points for not flashing back to yet another time when Bruce and his parents left the theater and ran into tragedy. But I'm still wondering how Thomas Wayne decided to get the same bug that Bruce did to become Batman.
You're Thomas Wayne.
Man, this alternate reality can go eat a bag of dicks. Holy shit, how long is that lasso? And how did alternate Wonder Woman know that this guy would be running past the Big Ben clock at this exact moment in time in order to make this maneuver?
She's also one of the most beautiful women I've ever met.
Until now, you mean?
Jeez, Diana, he said one of. He didn't say the most beautiful woman. Besides, he has the lasso of truth around his neck, so if he thought you were the hottest, I'm sure he'd tell you. Dude, you never found this ring until Batman kicked the shit out of you? You've been in so much denial, I'm absolutely shocked you haven't looked everywhere for this ring.
He replicated the accident that allowed me to tap into the Speed Force. Became a criminal. Professor Zoom.
Man, this exposition is f***ing thrilling.
But his psychosis requires that you know he's responsible.
Could anyone, even Thawne, be that deranged?
Barry Allen. Dude, I haven't even read one Flash comic book, and I can tell you that yes, he's that deranged. He set all those bombs at the beginning of the movie and didn't care if he died, as long as you were there to die too. How stupid is this guy? Are those Chitauri? Oh no, they got Venom. Man, this Justice League movie is a way better Avatar The Last Airbender adaptation than The Last Airbender. This movie should have been called Literally Anything Can Happen at Any Moment. Lex Luthor is using an everyday handgun to take out these awesome Aquarian guys. If his name wasn't Lex Luthor, he'd be way dead by now. This discount Ant-Man sequence was also not directed by Edgar Wright.
I'm right here!
Barry wants lightning to strike him, and it does, as if lightning could hear and obey him.
But at least we know the estimated location of Aquaman's WMD.
Flashpoint Paradox imagines an alternate timeline where Barack Obama was actually president.
But our top analysts say without the Batman, you have no team.
Fucking what? Batman is the least superpowered hero ever. Everyone else in this game is a meta-human. Batman is just a rich guy with toys. And in this alternate reality, he's like 75 years old and is a dickhead. Your top analysts are on drugs, dude, or are just stupid.
Thank you for everything you've done for this country, Victor. But as of now, you're relieved of duty.
Also, you're basically a discount Iron Man, FYI. Somehow, the different timeline on Earth means that Superman's spaceship crashed in Metropolis and not Kansas. Probably because he was born to destroy this city one way or another. Also, we could have started with all this new timeline stuff way back when Barry first broke the time barrier near the opening title. Instead, it's after we've been plunged confusingly into the new timeline and we don't know what the hell's going on. Maybe there's a good story function for it. Like, maybe we're supposed to learn things only through Barry's perspective, which I respect but hate all at the same time. So wait, did Atlantis and the Amazons have some sort of deal where they decided to attack Europe around the same time? Or did they just randomly do it without each other's knowledge? Really confused about why these factions attacked and why they started with Western Europe. What the f***? What the f***? Openly f***ing in front of anybody who might have access to this room, which in this case just happens to be Aquaman's wife. Jesus f***ing Christ, movie. This is the R-ratedest PG-13 movie in history. Bruce's grieving mom goes from Martha to Joker, and like everything else in this movie, I am just f***ing clueless and lost. It's like every single idea the writers had went into this story.
Somehow I remember things from this timeline, but I can remember my world as well.
Well, that's convenient. You only had to suffer horrible burns and almost die to gain that ability, though, so I guess it was worth it.
Soon I'll forget my timeline and everyone in it.
Why?
We try again.
Man, you're like 12 hours tops removed from nearly dying from this experiment, and you literally just sat up for the first time to say this. How do you even know that experiment didn't work the first time? Can you at least try to run fast for a moment, just to be sure you didn't already succeed?
They will pay for what they did to Queen Mira. I told you never to speak her name.
Seems reasonable. Yep, they're really doing this experiment again, 12 hours later, with no idea how he lived or what to change to fix things. And yet I feel confident they'll succeed this time, if only because this movie is super short, and we're at the halfway point already. And I sure do love these scenes they do with Quicksilver. They're so awesome. Wait, why are we adding a sin? So the Amazons apparently have a dinosaur fighting alongside them, which seems really unfair.
Wonder Woman's lasso made them spill their guts. Literally.
Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Lois Lane, everybody. How many f***ing Ex Machinas are in this movie anyway?
You should be dead.
But let's be honest, geriatric dad of Bruce Wayne, so should you, right? Just from age and
I had to make some last-minute alterations.
You changed the color of the suit by moving fast? The f***? Here's a man so up he kept the gun used to kill his son in a museum-quality case as a keepsake. Probably because he knew some alternate timeline Flash would one day show up and give him a full-circle reason to use said gun. Oh no, I wasn't able to run as fast as I normally do on the first try since I got my powers back. Whatever will I do?
Then a glowing ring floated off his finger and shot into space.
His ring?
Flew away. You're about to fly a dead alien spaceship, and that's the part you're having trouble believing.
Yes! Do you mean to tell me that Superman's ship crashed with this much force and somehow Metropolis survived it?
Classified information. We need it, and you can get it.
Well, he was actually just recently fired by the government, so I'm not sure he can't. Oh, he can still get it. No, that's awesome. That's actually how I was hoping the scene was going to go, truthfully.
There's something there, but it's above even my clearance.
Hey, why do you even have any clearance anymore?
Do now. If you want me on your little suicide squad.
What are we, some kind of, hey, what the Cyborg R2-D2's this shit? And at this point, I'm wondering if he's just so powerful at hacking, they might as well have never fired him in the first place, since it was a meaningless gesture that carried no actual penalty.
But with you on board, we can save the world from this war.
This entire movie keeps overestimating Batman's value. Superman is skinny and timid and jumpy, and have I mentioned how this movie lost me long ago? Because it did. Superman could have turned out to be Pepe the Prawn from the Muppets, and I wouldn't have batted an eye at this point.
Is that Clark?
Seriously, how did changing the timeline change Clark's trajectory to Earth? Or is this movie saying that the Kansas thing never happened in the first place, and he conveniently crashed into Metropolis in both timelines for this movie? Later, Thawne will tell Flash that Clark's trajectory did change because of that. But if that's true, everything should be changed, to the point that everything is unrecognizable. Here's Superman, fresh out of alternate reality torture prison, still too Jesus to ever carry his own story.
Friends.
Superman receives instant powers that every single iteration of Superman has told me took practice for him to master. Also, glad he could take all these bullets and not die, but I wish that movie would let this dude eat a sandwich like Pronto. Justice League Murder Force.
Superman, close your eyes!
And that's the origin story of Cyclops. We're really getting to learn the X-Men well in this movie.
You're only 1,000 miles from drop zone. Commence radio silence.
1,000 miles out? Does he even have enough fuel for that? Why is radio silence demanded so far out from the target?
Beware my power, asshole.
Well, we're a PG-13 movie, by God, and we're gonna use it.
Where I come from, heroes use those powers to fight to make the world a better place.
Hero-splaining.
We have more than luck, Orm.
We have amphibious Tron vehicles.
You won't have it much longer, surface dweller.
That's surfacist.
Once we have Aquaman and Wonder Woman, this war is over.
Has Barry once mentioned that in his world, Aquaman and Wonder Woman were heroes? Seems like he's totally not surprised about this. True to DC form, the metahumans try to tackle each other into buildings, hoping that will work. Just like the live-action MCU movies, this animated DCU movie gives me no concept of whose powers are stronger than whose, leaving me no idea as to who should be winning this fight. And a bunch of kids just turned into f***ing Shazam, and I am unfazed. I am a leaf on the wind. Watch how I soar. And old Batman died instantly of 12 different various ongoing ailments due to old age, including but not limited to liver damage, heart failure, Lyme disease, and such and such. This is what you signed up for, right? A finale where Shazam tosses half a skyscraper at Wonder Woman, and Batman fires endless bullets at some kind of mechanical bug dude. I mean, stuff dreams are made of, no?
Take your team up the right flank.
This is sort of where the movie becomes a big Twilight Breaking Dawn cheat, where we see Batman doing non-Batman things, and therefore he is easily shot, even though he's been doing this for 20 years. Also, I'd be shocked this movie just killed off its most interesting character in jump scare fashion, except this movie lost me ages ago. Honestly, I've been watching Frasier reruns for the last hour. Batman dies, oh boo-hoo. Did you know Roz was pregnant?
I won't stand by while people are...
What the hell does Barry see that makes him think, weird, there's something about this cafe that makes me think Thawne might be here? Just an observation, but watching two super fast people chase one another is just about as amusing and thrilling as watching two super slow people chase one another. In other words, when the talents of the hero and the villain are the same, it makes for a boring finale.
Break the sound barrier and there's a sonic boom. You broke the time barrier, Flash. Time boom.
Flash went back to save his mom just because Thawne talked some shit after they sent him to jail. He didn't do it when he was the most emotional about it. He did it because of some goddamn trash talk. Justice League, Civil War. In the end, these action scenes are just as bad as any other action movie. They're probably worse because they don't need stunt doubles or rapid editing to cover up mistakes. They're drawing this. Just when you thought this superhero movie couldn't get any more murdery, Ex Machina number, let's say 80, has Superman coming back to Earth way after most of the battle's been fought, just so he can kill Bizarro Aquaman at the last minute.
Hero, friend.
And if this wasn't an alternate universe that we know for a fact is going to get changed, this would be sad. Oh snap, Canada Manhattan is about to rain fire and maple syrup on the bad guys' asses. Movie expects me to believe that with the heart of a lion, Flash can start running to break the time barrier, even though his leg is super injured.
Barry, stop! You'll kill everyone!
How does Flash know exactly how fast he needs to go to not only break the time barrier, but go back to the crucial point in time? Injured Flash manages to catch up to non-injured Flash. Now my mind is blown.
Well, that's my kind of hello.
Well, cemetery boners are the best boners. I would knock off 40 sins if he ran into Spider-Man right now.
Everything freezes.
What's the difference between you and me?
I'm not wearing hockey pads. If I were to help you, what exactly would we need?
Guns. Lots of guns.
What have I done? What have I done?
What's that? Yo, what's that? Hello? What's that? What's that?
When I was a little girl, Grandma taught me a prayer.
Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far, far, far away from here.
Where's my dinner?
Now I'm bound by the life you left behind.
Waiting is the worst part.